gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello. Yeah, so bit of a different video today. You'll have seen sort of this week I've started the new or have announced the new logo and the new podcast, and I just sort of wanted to do a follow-up video to that really. So let's start off. If you've never been to the channel before, so this is going to be part of a segment that I do called Cantina Chat. So I've done one where I discussed it was a voiceover for Andor. This is just going to be a little one today about the channel. It's not going to be a huge video, it's not going to be a long one really, just to sort of say hi, thanks to those that followed me and what lies ahead. So first of all, yeah, I changed the logo. So why did I change the logo? Well, I felt like I needed to change it. I don't know why. I wasn't entirely happy with the logo I originally had. I've had it for a while now, and I just wanted something fresh. So this new logo, as you can see, it stands out a little bit more. It's dark around the edges, so that helps sort of fit into the theme a little bit more. I think. I don't know what's your opinions. I mean, I'm not changing it. I've got a few sort of different versions of it that I'll use for different things, and yeah, that's why I changed it. Really, it just looks a lot smarter, a lot neater. I think. Especially looks better on the website, on the YouTube. You can see there. So next one, yeah, why Chewing the Fett Podcast? Well, we started the Chewing the Fett podcast, or we're going to start it in sort of October, I think. I'm going to have guests on, and we're going to talk all things Star Wars, really. So about their channels, about my channel, about their love of Star Wars, what got them into it, that type of thing. I've got 3 guests that I've confirmed. Yeah, look, ready to go straight away. We'll do whatever. The first guest I'm quite excited about. He's just built an amazing life-size droid, and I think it's just crazy what he's done. 2 little kids and stuff like that. I just, yeah, huge kudos. So that I'm looking forward to that one. We'll see what happens there. So a bit of banter really. So for Star Wars fans to sort of sit, have a chat over a cup of tea and discuss this universe and what got us into it. So that's the logo for that one. So what is Cantina Rebels? So Cantina Rebels, this channel, it started off in lockdown really. I bought myself a Boba Fett helmet. I wanted a life-size helmet. Life-size helmet. But I didn't want to spend a lot of money, and I was looking and I saw a lot of brands, and it was like money I couldn't justify with a young family. And I came across Hasbro, saw an offer for the Boba Fett, bought it, and that was it. It was the only one I was buying, and where am I? Here we are. 20 helmets later, 3 on back order, 3 on pre-order. Some have made. Yeah, so I wanted to film it. My daughter, she's only 7, she wanted me to film them and do reviews. She watches reviews with me, and we thought, you know what, let's do it. Let's kill a bit of the time in lockdowns and see what's what and what we can do and where we go with it. No expectations. Wherever it goes, wherever it'll go. And I then wanted to get into props. So things like bolts, droid restraining bolts and little bounty pucks and stuff like that from Mando. And I wanted it to be stuff fans had made, basically. So data cards and stuff like that. So that was the plan. That was the aim of the channel, and that's how it's grown and started from then. I'm looking to do the podcast on this new software, so I thought I'd do a bit of a Cantina Chat and sort of explain about the channel, and for those that are new, and test the software really and see where we are. I mean, I've got this logo. Where are we? Here. I can't get rid of on this free plan. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. If I decide that it looks good and it's worked, I'll probably just pay for the software and I can brand it up a little bit more and I can put my own brand in and stuff like that. I just didn't see the point for it now. So I wanted to test this before I film the first podcast with my first guest. I'm not going to spoil it, but you'll probably be watching this. And that's what we're going to do. So I've got the regular channel or the regular content, which is all about collecting on a budget. So things like artwork, props, helmets, lightsabers, that sort of stuff. But I'm also keen to do this podcast, and this podcast is going to be run once a month. It's Chewing the Fett Podcast, like I said earlier, and it's going to be content creators, cosplayers, prop builders. So the first guest is a prop builder and content creator, and he's pulled some brilliant stuff. If I can get my second guest, Ash, he does a lot of 3D stuff and a lot of 3D modeling, and some of the stuff he comes out with is like he takes stuff and designs the STL files from scratch, and he has a website. So that'll be really good if we can get him to sort of commit to a date. A few things like that, really, and that's all that it is. I'm also hoping to discuss in these some things like latest news and stuff like that. So I suppose we could delve into that a little bit. We can trial and error this together, I suppose. So I suppose the first bit of news that broke in the last sort of couple of weeks is this one. So the new Visions Season 3 is coming out. So it's basically Season 3. It drops on October the 29th with 9 new episode stories. One standout episode is going to be called Black, which is, they're saying, a trippy, mind-bending tale about a stormtrooper's psychological breakdown. Quite an emotive subject, this one. It's not one I particularly mind Star Wars going down. I think it'll be quite an interesting take to look at how it affects the stormtroopers. Must be a bit of a weird life they lead, so that might be quite an interesting one. Directed by Shinya Ohara, He was behind Akira and Spirited Away. They're saying it's the boldest Star Wars animation yet, but yeah. So mark your calendars, October 29th. Which short out of the ones you've announced are you most hyped for? Comment down below. The next bit of news is the Jaws of Jakku audiobook. Yeah, so again, October the 9th, brand new Star Wars story audiobook. It's going to be on Audible. It's called The Jaws of Jakku. It follows Rey, Finn, and BB-8 back to Jakku. Rey starts her Jedi training while helping a mysterious young girl who's in danger. It's 4 hours long, and it's a quick but deep dive into her journey. Is this a hint of the script for the Rey movie? Are they going to gauge how well this does before making it into a movie? I don't know. Again, comment below, and we'll sort of look into that. Now, the bit of news I was sort of looking forward to, or sort of hypes me the most, I think, is Rogue Squadron rumor. So there's rumors flying around that Lucasfilm may actually lock in a release date for Rogue Squadron. So the project was grounded for a couple of years after endless delays, but whispers have started circulating that the X-Wings could finally hit hyperspace in the next sort of slate of Star Wars films. But do you want it as a film, or would you rather see this one as a series on Disney Plus? I mean, a film would be nice. I think this one, though, I would rather see it as a series. That way they could concentrate on different pilots or different elements of Rogue Squadron each week. Sort of a story within a story, so to speak. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Another bit, 2 more bits of news. So Oscar Isaac has said that he could potentially return as Poe Dameron in Star Wars. He's basically what he said is he'd do it, but only if the story was worth it. He was in all 3 sequels, of course, and he said he doesn't want. Sorry, I'm getting notifications. I don't know whether they're going to come up on the thing. That'll be an interesting test. He doesn't want a lazy comeback, though. If he's going to come back, it's got to be something meaningful that adds to Poe's legacy. And you know what? I get that and I respect that as well. He don't want to just come back for the sake of it, and I wouldn't really want him to either. So off the back of the first story, Katie Sackhoff has made a bit of a confession. So she's revealed that after a role in Star Wars, she couldn't land any acting gigs for 3 years. Instead of boosting her career, she says the experience has left her doubting herself, but she's now bouncing back stronger. I think there's more to this story than initially comes to mind. Yeah, it's one. There's more to it that we're not being told, so it'd be interesting to know the full story about that one. Maybe something will come out down the line. I'd love to interview her. If anyone's got a contact there, yeah, let me know. So the only other sort of bit of news I want to talk about, which is what sort of gets my excitement, is new helmets from Black Series. Yeah, the Shore Trooper. So I'm not going to lie, this one excites me. I've got it up on the American website here, just because that's the site that I landed, but it's the same price in the UK regardless. They don't like converting it, they just change the dollar sign to a pound sign, but hey, that's Hasbro. Well, and Disney, any of them really. Yeah, this one excites me. Yes, I know before anyone jumps in the comments, it's not going to be 100% accurate. It's not going to be, I've heard it up for. But this one, I think, is one that the fans are going to love. It looks a lot dirtier and weathered than the initial images showed us. I think this looks a great bit of kit. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I'd also like this one. I think this one is going to be a fab helmet as well. So the Death Trooper. This one is going to be available next year as well, or later this year. I think they are. I think what does it say on there? I can't quite see it. I think these at around £100 each or $100 each are probably going to be some of the best ones. This looked all shiny when I first saw it, but when you look at the image in here, it's scuffed. It's like a matte satin finish, and then it's scuffed right down to like a grey finish. It's got the two lights at the front, and then the two lights at the top, two green at the bottom, and the green and the white light on the top, on the side. I think that is a stunning looking helmet. I think both of those are going to become fan favourites. If you haven't already ordered one, I would get that on pre-order, because I think they're going to sell out fast, and I think they're going to be ones that people want silly money for when they stick them on eBay. Similar to like the Kylo Ren one. Some of the X-Wing helmets you can pick up really cheap now, but the harder ones to get, like those, I think are gonna. It's not an investment, but you know what I mean. You're gonna pay more down the line. I could be wrong. I think they're going to be the ones that people want, and I think from there on, I think the next logical one they'll do is the tank driver. I'll be surprised if at some point we don't see a TIE fighter helmet. From a TIE fighter helmet, they could do a multitude of repaints and little tweaks, like they have done with the X-Wings. Yeah, man, it's exciting stuff coming from Hasbro at the moment. I don't really collect I don't collect the figures. I don't collect any of the HasLabs. I just can't justify the money. Yeah. So, right, I'm going to wrap it up. I hope this experiment worked. Let me know what you think. How's the software? It'd be interesting how the software's come across and come about from like a viewer's point of view. So comment below. Look, please like, share and subscribe. I'm not plans on doing any live stuff at the moment, so there's not going to be any super chats or anything like that. So for me to pay for this software, it's all out of my own pocket, or like these hosting sites, and this is $25 a month. Doesn't sound a lot to some, but when you've got kids and stuff like that, all this stuff adds up. So if you would like to help the channel, I will stick up a barcode or QR code now, and that lets you buy me a coffee. You don't have to, but anything that's donated will be going back into the channel, into things like editing software, paying for Canva for thumbnails and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's it for this one. I'm now going to go and edit it, see what it looks like. It could be a load of trash, it could be good, but the podcasts are coming soon. Some great guests lined up, in my opinion. fellow YouTubers and stuff like that. I still don't think of myself as a YouTuber, but and anyway, so look, on that note, from me and mine to you and yours, I'll definitely see you on the next one.
Please like and subscribe.